Hi everyone, welcome to my next video. I'm Sarah Dawn, and in this video, I am going to show you my Be Love meditation. This is the meditation that I came up with to do to help me remember all the steps the most important steps I need to take to connect and communicate with my angels, and most importantly, when I really want to hear them clearly, when I really want to understand and receive messages from them in a clear and precise way. This meditation really helps me get into the right space and to get my ego out of the way. And you all know from the last videos that I have done about talking to the angels, and if you haven't seen those, I'll link them, the playlist right here above. But you know how important it is to raise your vibes, to get your egos out of the way, to open yourself to receiving. And you need to have your intentions set and really kind of know what you're doing if you really want to hear your angels. Now, your angels are talking to you all the time, but hearing them and being in the right place to hear them is a whole nother story. And that is really what this meditation is all about, to get you into that right place so that you're ready to connect and hear your angels clearly whenever you need to receive those messages. So this meditation, I have the acronym Be Love, and I will say the words Be Love at the beginning of this meditation because, you know, really everything is about love, isn't it? You know, this connecting to our angels or communicating with us, being from source, it's all about love. And we want to be in that space of being love, of knowing it, of feeling it, of realizing that that is what we are. We're connected to the angels. We're part of source. We are all part of that same love, and that love is what crosses the veil and connects us with the spiritual. So I always start out reminding myself, getting into that right place by saying be love, just really feeling it. So now, like I said, this meditation is an acronym, so L.O.V.E. That each stands for a different step, because if I don't have some sort of like guidance like this, who knows where my mind goes. I'll drift off thinking about, you know, what I might be grateful for in the second step, and I'll completely forget what I was doing and get off track. So this helps me stay focused, having that acronym. You know, I'm still good. What was it? I was thinking about being happy and grateful. What was I doing? Oh yes, I'm doing a meditation because I'm about to do a card reading, right? So the acronym really helps me out. So not only helps me get into the right space, but keeps me a little more on track than I might otherwise be. So when I first came up with this meditation, it was maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. The first time I tried using it, that I really realized that this was the perfect meditation and what was going to work for me. I was doing a card reading for this gentleman. It was an email reading, so I was doing it over the email and writing the messages to him. I went through all of these steps, and he had told me a bit about what was going on. Of course, there was some grief and loss going on, and he was looking for some guidance and direction in his life. And I got that, obviously. But I did this meditation, and I thank the angels for allowing me to receive and know what he needed to know so that I may pass that on to him. And I started becoming flooded and overwhelmed by this feeling of deep despair, of such intense grief and heartache. And I've been through heartache. I have experienced grief myself, but on this experience, it was different than I had ever experienced before. And I realized what was happening was his angels were, because I had opened those channels and I had done this meditation and asked them to tell me everything that he needed to know. They were flooding me with this emotion so that I could be in his place and so I could understand what was going on. And it was honestly one of the most amazing experiences I have ever had. And as I laid out each card, I knew exactly what it meant. I could just feel his angels talking through me and telling me everything that he was going to need to know. It was a very powerful reading, and it's even still emotional for me when I think about it. When I think about that feeling that I had of that despair and that grief and completely understanding where he was coming from. And I do attribute such a powerful connections and receiving, especially with other people's angels, to this meditation and to the time and effort that I've put into perfecting the steps to make sure I'm doing everything that I need to do. So I'm very excited to share this with you. So as you know, each letter stands for each step of the meditation. B is breathe. E is elevate. L is let go. O is open. V is viscerally visualize. And E is expect the unexpected. So before I tell you what all of these are and how to do them, first, I want to make sure that you all know that this is a meditation that I have perfected for me, for my relationship with the angels and how, I need to hear them and how I need to connect with them. And although I intend for it to be helpful for you too, it's not necessarily the end all be all say all of how this has to be done. Please pay attention to yourself, your intuition, and how you feel, and adapt this meditation later on down the road, or even immediately if you feel like you need to. You can add to it, you can take away from it, you can change up the way that I do something. Just make sure that it feels right to you. The thing about a spiritual journey and the path that we're on is it's very individual. So just because this is what works for me doesn't mean it'll work for you. It doesn't mean it won't either. It may be perfect for you too and work wonderfully, which if it does, please make sure you let me know in the comments, because I am dying to know how this actually works out for other people. I know how it works for me. I don't know how it works for you, and I would really, really love to hear about it if you try it out. So that'd be awesome. The other thing is each one of the letters is a step. And one thing I find very important is that you intuitively pay attention to how much time you need to spend on each of these steps. So sometimes, if I'm feeling good, I'm doing good, I'm ready to get down to it and start card readings or receiving messages in whatever kind of session, I'll call it, that I'm having with the angels, I'll just be like, okay, breathe. E is elevate. L, let go. O, open the channels. V, visualize. Okay. And E, expect the unexpected. And all I need to do is really say those to really make them happen. But there are other times, especially if I'm not feeling so great. And most of you know that I do deal with a bit of depression, anxiety. It's a big part of what I do. And that's why the angels are so important to me, is because they are the ones that I fully believe have literally and figuratively saved my life. And I have videos and stories about that too, so I won't get into that. But that is why the angels are so extremely important to me. So if I am having a difficult time, I feel a bit down, anxious, stuck in a pattern of negative thinking, any of that stuff, I will spend more time on each of these steps, and I'll spend as much time as I need. Even the first one, breathing, all 5 minutes taking deep breaths, if that's what I need to do. A lot of the times it's the second step, elevate, that I need to spend more time on, because my vibes aren't always that high and I'm not always feeling that great. So the point is, as you go through each step, just know there's not a set amount of time. There's no set hard and fast rules here. You can make this your own, adapt it to how you need it to be, spend as much time, as little or as much time as you need to on each step, just as long as it works for you. And no matter what you do, the most important thing is just to kind of let it flow. This is all about opening yourself up to receiving what the angels have to give you. And you kind of have to keep in mind that we're in this physical body, in this physical mind, and the way that we fathom and understand how things work is from the perspective of this limited, dense physical body. It's hard for us to even sense or experience things outside of it, which is why I do these videos, is I help you get in touch with that side of you, because it's not always obvious and it's not always easy. So as you do this meditation, focus on just opening yourself to allowing the angels to get that message to you in the best way possible for you, for them, for the energy, for however it works on their side of things. Do you see what I mean? You're switching from being in control in the physical world to allowing the angels and your spirituality to make this happen for you. And once again, check out that playlist that I linked up here about how to talk to the angels if you want to know more about all this stuff. Or there's this meditation I did, connecting with the angels, guided meditation, to help you get into that place to start connecting with the angels. I really love that meditation, so I hope you do check it out, and I hope you enjoy it. If you do, also let me know. I'd love to hear from you. All right, so now we're going to go over each one in a little bit more detail. I'm not doing this like a guided meditation or anything like that. I'm just going to go over each of the letters and tell you kind of what I do and how I make it work, and maybe a little bit about why we're doing it if you don't already know. So we'll go over each one in more detail. Remember, make it your own. This is about you and your connection with your angels. So you've got to do what feels right and what feels good to you. Just use this and everything I tell you as a basic guideline to head you in that direction and learn from what I've already discovered and learned. Okay, so the first step is breathe. Simply breathe. You probably want to take at least 3. 3 is the magic number. But take 3 deep breaths. This is also when I'll say and really focus on be love. Bringing that love and light, that self-acceptance, that self-love, that love for my angels, the love of source, of being part of that bringing that all in to me through these breaths. Just take them so that you feel them. Feel your body relax. Feel it opening up to the possibilities. Releasing any negativity, any doubt, any of that stuff. Now the next E is elevate. And this is where you're raising your vibes. You're getting your vibrations as high as possible to get to that vibrational match that we need in order to hear the angels. We know that angels are always talking to us. We know they can always hear us, but sometimes we're blocked from receiving those messages. And if our vibrations are too low, that is a major obstacle to keep us from hearing and receiving those messages. So this step is about elevating those vibes, bringing those vibes up in any way that you need to do it. So one of the best ways, obviously, I think for most of us, obviously, is to focus on gratitude. Think about what makes you happy. What are you grateful for? What is going right? And one thing I've learned in my experiences is don't be humble. Sometimes I'm thinking, oh, I'm so grateful that, I got money and I'm making money on like a book or something, say, I'll kind of feel guilty about that. Like, oh, that's something I should feel grateful for. But that's okay. I feel grateful for it because that money is what allows me to buy food for my children and to take care of them. It's not bad to be grateful for money or be grateful for something that you've done. Feel a sense of pride in yourself and your accomplishments. Those are wonderful things to help raise your vibes. So don't be humble and don't shy away from that kind of stuff. Go ahead and focus on it. Another thing about this step is, like I said before, if you're feeling a little down in the dumps, things are feeling a little bit difficult, it doesn't take a lot. You don't have to get yourself into like super happy, excited, perfect state of mind with this. You're just really wanting to raise your vibes as much as you can for the space that you're in. And I have been in very negative space. I have been, depressed, anxious, just feeling like giving up on the world when I've done this. And I still have good results. So it's okay. Don't get caught up in this if it's difficult. Now, of course, if the higher you get your vibes, the more like excited and giddy that you may get, the easier it's gonna be for those messages to come through. So of course, just try and get it as high as you can. It'll work either way. So next is L for beginning love, and that stands for let go. And this is letting go of fear, worries, doubts, the physical world, the limitations of your physical body, and maybe most importantly, your ego. Letting go of anything attaching you to this world, right? Anything that may be holding you back and that can block you from hearing your angels and being very open to that side. So here's, at least lately, what I have been mostly visualizing is that there's all these boxes or packages or rocks or whatever, and a balloon is tied to each one of them. So this is a worry that I have about, do I have enough money for groceries this month? This is a worry about, the other day when I was talking to the lady at the grocery store, I think I said something stupid, and that's been weighing on me. This is the one about, whatever else I may be worried or anxious about. I'm not really feeling that way at the moment, so I'm having a hard time coming up with examples, which is great, right? So nervous about how my video is going to turn out, if it's actually going to be any good, And one of them is I actually go ahead and have it represent my ego, specifically my ego. And through this step, I go and I just pull the string because the balloons are just tied on with a bow, right? So I just pull the string and I float up with the balloons. And all of that stuff, it's still there. It's still where it needs to be, but I am released from it. It is no longer weighing me down, and it is a drift up to where I can connect with my higher self and see things more through the perspective of my higher self rather than the eyes of my ego or the eyes of my physical self. So you want to let go of just everything. Basically, it's just everything. Let it go. And it's okay. You're not doing this forever. Those problems will be there. And everything else you need is going to be there when you're done. So it's safe to let it go. The next one is open. And I have talked about this in other videos before. It's opening the channels to your angels. So you want to hear them. If you're clairvoyant, you want to see your messages because that's how it comes through you the most clearly. So I focus on each one of my energy centers that I might receive information from. So I kind of see it as like a spiral. Okay, well, first what I do is I imagine my angels are all around. my angels, my guardian angels. There may be archangels, other angels. I don't know who all is there, but I just know that there are a ton of angels around me. I am surrounded by them. And I intentionally open each center to allow what they have to come in. And I usually see it as like a spiral of light. Like it comes into my ears and coming into my third eye. It's coming in through my crown chakra. But here's what I really focus on is that heart chakra. Because you all know that I struggle with depression, anxiety, negative thinking, self-hatred. I've spent so much time hating myself and not feeling deserving. That was one of my main struggles. Talking to the angels to begin with was feeling deserving and good enough for them to talk to me. So I really focus on that heart chakra. I'm just seeing it come into my heart. I am open. I am receptive. I am safe. All of me is open to receiving what the angels have to give me. All right. And then the next step is viscerally visualize. And the reason I say viscerally visualize is because this isn't just visualizing like you're seeing that channel's open or you're seeing yourself untie the bots. This kind of visualizes the visualization of what is going to happen, what you want to happen, what is your intention for this session with your angels. But what you want to focus on is how it feels. So let's use the example of, say, an angel number, because I've wrote about that in this book, A Magical Course in Angel Numbers, is where I actually have this meditation at first. So if you're coming from the book because I mentioned this video in it, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you find some help with other videos. That's obviously in the future, so those of you watching it now, you know, it's in here. But anyway, so say you're looking up an angel number, say you've been seeing it, maybe it's, you know, the angel number 66, you look it up, you've gotten the message, oh yeah, it's good, it's all right, it's kind of helping me, but you keep seeing the message afterwards, say, you know, that usually means if you keep seeing the same number, even though you've already looked it up, you're trying to understand, you keep seeing it, it means the angels still have something to tell you about it. Either you haven't received the whole message, or it might be that you need reminding of it. But say that that's what's going on and you really want to get at that message and know deeply what the angels are saying. So this is what I would do. You know, I have my book or my guide or whatever I'm going to be using and do this meditation. And at this point, I visualize sitting there with my book. My angel is maybe standing behind me with their hands on my shoulders. And I'm looking up the number. I'm looking up what I need to look up. I'm getting ideas about what to look up. I'm getting ideas of what to do. And I'm getting insights and understanding and messages that I clearly know are from my angels. They're coming to me. They're just flowing. The angels are, you know, my guardian angels that are standing there are bending over. They're whispering in my ear. I can see all of this happening around me as I'm looking up this number or as I'm laying out the cards, whatever it is your intention is. But the most important thing is to make sure you're focused on how that feels. You're getting the information from the angels that you want to receive. You're having understanding. You're having clarity. You know it is from your angels. You can feel it's from your angels. What does that feel like? Do you feel relief? Do you feel excitement? Do you feel the love that they have radiating for you? What are you feeling? And that's what I mean viscerally visualize. Don't just visualize and be like, oh yeah, I would feel good. Feel it deep within your body. Feel it throughout all of your organs. Viscerally feel what it feels like in the best way that you can. Maybe if you were feeling depressed at the beginning, this is where you're all of a sudden feeling like you have guidance and motivation and inspiration and you're feeling happier, and now your vibes are higher. You're visualizing, emotionally visualizing what is going on. And the final step is expect the unexpected. So this is going into your session with the angels, knowing that what you have visualized, what you have asked for is going to happen, and you are now going to allow it to happen in unexpected ways. You don't know how it's going to come. You don't know exactly like what random number you might even think of to look up in the book, or which aspect of it is going to bring that clarity. You know, it might just be a word that you see in the guide, and that, oh, that's what it is. I understand now. But if we go in expecting and trying to force, it's gonna work because I'm gonna look this up and then I'm just gonna understand what it means. If you go in like that, you're creating blocks and you're creating limitations. So this step is all about, all right, angels, you take the wheel, you take over. However you see this going, I am going to allow it to happen, and my intention is going to happen. Okay, and that is it. That is the Be Love meditation. Those are the steps I take. Remember, take as much time as you need or want on each one of those steps. Add to it, modify, subtract it, do whatever you need to make it your own and work for you as well as it's worked for me. I really, really hope that it helps you connect with your angels and hear your angels and build your confidence and, you know, just trust and belief in yourself that you can do this and you can hear them and understand them clearly. It's possible. And don't forget, like I said before, you know, share with me. If you do try this out, please, please, please share with me how it goes. I really want to know. Even if it's bad and it sucks and it didn't work at all, these are things I need to know. You know, I think I'm coming up with this really awesome, great, wonderful stuff, and maybe I'm not. Let me know how it goes. I would just really love to hear from you all and hear your thoughts and experiences. Also, be sure, of course, if you found this helpful, to leave a like, and if you want more videos, obviously, you know how it goes, subscribe, hit that little bell icon. That way you'll get notifications every time I publish a video. If you would like one, I try to publish about every other week at this point. That's what I'm trying to do. And you know, of course, I'm finishing up this book. If you're on Facebook or the community for YouTube, I've been talking about kind of my progress of, you can see this as a proof copy, but November 11th that's going to be out, and then I might have more time. We'll see what happens. I really have no idea, but for right now I'm trying to do about every other week. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. You are incredibly, amazingly awesome, and I am so grateful for you. And of course, I will leave a link to books and whatever I talked about in my blog in the description below if you want to do some reading between videos. That would be very awesome, and I appreciate it very much. And as always, I am sending so much love and blessings to you all, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.